Alrighty, good morning everyone. It is Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024. Let's go ahead and jump back and take a look at yesterday. So if you guys recall yesterday's pre-market, we talked about a critical level to see the bulls get above. If the bulls were not able to get through that level, I said more than likely we're going to get that bearish pullback, and sure enough, or something to that effect, right? We said if the bulls can't get through the previous daily close, then that was a clue for our bearish bias for the day. And sure enough, where did the bulls get to and fail the high of the day? Right to the previous daily close. So once we fell from there, should have been some good opportunities. But let's go ahead and take a look at the whole situation here. The market opened and held VWAP and the 200 moving average for the first couple minutes of the open there, as you can see. We also had the holy orange power level that really, if you bought that, never really got much of a break other than here where it maybe got 2 points through and then went ahead and came up to the previous daily close. So at the open, some decent opportunities to go ahead and try buying this little region in here. And then as you can see, hopefully, if you were long, you took profit right in front of the very level I warned you was the line in the sand for being a bull or a bear. So from there, we get a bearish divergence off the test there, and then we get the push lower. Now, just before that, if you were being careful in this area and just waiting for something to show its face, well, if you waited just a couple minutes there, you did actually get yourself a beautiful long opportunity when price came back to retest all three of our levels, 200, VWAP, and the holy orange power level. This is just another example of a day where the holy orange power level, if you tried it for a long, in this case, gave you a really nice, sexy trade with very limited risk. Now, it actually got you, if you got in, just shy of 10 points, but I would have been taking profit in front of 07. So realistically, probably looking at a 5-6 point scalp from that area. And then from there, we got the whole sell-off, right? So I told you there was something important about the previous daily close yesterday. And sure enough, if you did get short from up there, you got the entire sell-off, right? It came down all the way through the previous daily low. And now let's look at if you missed out on shorting from the previous daily close, well, then you had a couple other really good opportunities on the way down, right? We have the first kiss off the back end of that VWAP there, which was very, 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 very aggressive trade. However, look at that divergence when it tested into the back end of the VWAP. Huge divergence. If you were just taking a little bit more of a risky trade based off of that setup, you actually got in at a beautiful spot. If you missed out there, we did get another beautiful kiss off the back end of Hopal to the downside, right? So here we have the holy orange power level holding the price to the upside. And then as we fail back down below it, there is that little kiss on the very short time frames and then the continuation down. So if you missed the previous daily close, you had an opportunity off the Hopal. If you missed Hopal, you had a beautiful opportunity with big bearish divergence right off of the back end of the fast moving average. And remember, when we are in a unidirectional market, typically that fast moving average becomes your best friend, right? So as it started to get heavy, as they broke back down through 50% of the previous day in the direction of our bias, bam, beautiful opportunity with, again, nearly zero risk to go ahead and try for the bearish side. And if you did, you should have gotten at least 10, 20 points to the downside, if not more. So lots of great short opportunities as we came down. Then we had another test of the fast moving average here with a bunch of bearish divergence. Again, another opportunity to get short. If you wanted to be a counter and buy that retrace extension level, you did get a bit of a pop, but what do you know? It got rejected off the fast moving average. So should have been a clue if you tried to be a counter trend trader there, that trade was not going to work out. And then what do you know? We're back down to lower lows. So if you missed the short from previous daily close, from Hopeful, from the fast moving average, from the second test of that fast moving average, you then get a beautiful opportunity to short the back end of the previous support, which was our roadmap level there at 58.88.5, to go ahead and try that short off the back end of it right there, right? So great opportunity, big bearish divergence right off of that high, and you would have still gotten yourself another 10, whatever it happened to be, maybe another 10, 20 points to the downside from there. So lots of great opportunities, no excuses yesterday after we got the big rejection off of our line in the sand. Continued going, as you can see, and was such an aggressive sell-off that these little bounces couldn't even make it to the fast-moving average. And then we get down below our next roadmap level, which, by the way, was a support for a very short period of time right there, then became your area to short. You could short the first test there, which was in a very aggressive move, right? Not quite as, it was just not moved far enough away to come back, but it did give it a beautiful little kiss for the pullback. This right here, though, would have been another great opportunity. Again, a lot of bearish divergence as we came up into this area, and then there's your rejection. So even if you waited till the a couple hours after the open and you jumped in off the back end of this final roadmap level, you still were able to get 10 points to the downside. So I think I made my case here that you don't have any excuses yesterday once we failed from the previous daily close. In fact, you could have tried shorting, fading that level and front ran this entire push. So from there, what do you know? Get a couple hours into this sell-off, and now here we are popping up again towards the middle of the day to come all the way back and confuse probably a lot of the bears. Now we did have that test off the back end. The first test really, after the crossover over here, the first test of the 200 right here, which would have been a good trade, right? You got a peak above and fail through that 200 there with bearish divergence. Great opportunity. It's just that when it came back down, notice where we found trouble. Right off the fast moving average again, and then they pushed even higher. Now that second or third test of the previous daily low, also a beautiful opportunity to try short. Unfortunately, at that point, we started to get a change in phase and the market started coming all the way back up. So if you tried that final short, unfortunately, you would have gotten stopped out. And then you can see a little bit of a ride back up, holding the top end now of that 200 moving average, trying to push higher, right? So once the phase changed, and here's kind of that first crossover hinting at the change in phase, second hint breaking through the previous swing high, that then changed phase, and then you had an opportunity to buy right off that 200 on the pullbacks to get this little push going into the end of the day. So still some good opportunity there. And then towards the end of the day here, as you can see, did trend higher, but pretty choppy. Now on the way up, notice that a lot of trouble was going on right there around our roadmap level around 91. So they came into it, failed, so there's a good short there. Then we got the attempt to break out. And let's go ahead and zoom in. I know on your screen's much lower, but I'll get rid of that. Then they gave it a beautiful little kiss here with, I don't know if there was really any divergence, but a beautiful kiss to pull things back there. And then again, you can see all this trouble. So if you tried shorting the roadmap level at 91, should have made some money on the first one. Second one obviously didn't work out. We had a little over a 2-point push through. Still not much, right, in the grand scheme of the S&P. And then you got the tag there, and then you had these beautiful opportunities here with all the bearish divergence to try a short from there. So there were a lot of good short opportunities off of that next roadmap level above us. And then as you can see at the end of the day, they continue to pop on through and push it right back up to the holy orange power level, that key level we were looking at out of the open there. Right, so brought it basically right back to where the market opened, effectively, zero displacement for the day, right? And now here we are coming into the open. We got the rejection right around the previous daily close in the overnight session here, right? So tried to hold above it right around the open of the Globex session. And then there's our failure. There's a nice tag off the back end of the 200. There's a beautiful tag off the back end of 50% of the previous day to the tick, right? So great to the tick opportunities with, again, very limited risk. Bringing us all the way down, held the next roadmap level back at the end of that roadmap level to the tick. And then you can see here when the bulls tried to bring it back through the fast moving average, once again, we have this beautiful hold to the tick on both tests off the VWAP there for this continuation lower, right? So in the overnight session, again, some pretty decent short opportunities as we were in a bearish orientation on our moving averages there. And, there's our crossover on the 200 and the 34. And then they come down, and what do you know, the biggest bounce in the overnight session is right off that roadmap level there, and basically effectively holding it to the tick for a decent bounce there. On the bounce, what do you know, they pull back right off of the roadmap levels. And this right here, my friends, just a little earlier, I got a beautiful trade right off the holy orange power level with all that bearish divergence there. So when I was putting my charts together this morning, jumped in, got a beautiful short from there. Right, I like taking 10 points and 5 points, so I'm out now. This could just keep on going, right? This could be like a huge flurry down into much deeper levels, but for now, I'm pretty happy. I got a nice trade going, and now here we are coming into the open, breaking back down through the low of yesterday. And remember, yesterday's low was a lower low in this overall bearish retracement off of the all-time high up here, right? So we got a lower low compared to the day before, and lower low compared to the day we made the all-time high. And now here we are coming into the open, pushing down to potentially lower lows. There is the major low from last week, where we had all the bullish clues that led to the push to that new all-time high. So that is our review for the last day. Let's go ahead and jump up to the higher time frames